It's like, hey, boo, 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 boo.
All right, state your name and your affiliation with Hues Trio.
I am the Slug Lord Rope Burn, and I am the hired muscle for the Hues Trio.
Okay.
I also go by Tim.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Does that mean that you keep us safe with your bodyguard skills?
Yeah, but mostly I just I pose for photos and stuff.
Well, I mean, you look great. I mean, that beard is so fucking majestic.
I smell terrible, but I look alright.
So what were you doing? You're on the trail?
Yeah, I hiked Mexico to Canada, missed a small piece of it, but I was just out there letting my hair grow.
So does that mean that you have to buy toilet paper when you...
Yes, you should never forget to buy your toilet paper, or you'll be making snow cones.
Snow cones?
Yeah, snow cones are the best substitute for TP.
Snow cones, like the things,
Well, like,
the holders?
Fresh. No, just like take snow, make a, I mean, you know yourself the best. So
Oh, you're putting a snowball in your butt crack?
yeah, well, I mean,
Oh, that
it's
sounds
like
terrible.
pine cones or leaves or something.
Well, a leaf is no good because that's got dirt on it, so that's no
Yeah,
good.
or like whatever, still.
That's what they call me at church.
Snowball! Hey, get it, Snowball!
What's good, Jack Frost? Hey, how you doing?
Snowball thrown down on the organ tonight. Snow Dog. Snow Dog's even better.
Hey, where are we going?
We're going to the best taco truck ever.
Well, one-way ticket to Taco Town! Going to Taco Town! Yeah, do they have chalupas? Because if they don't have chalupas, I'm not really interested.
They have everything you want. They've got everything you want. Yeah, so this place is dope. They've got lights all over it, so at night it flashes like a Christmas tree or some shit.
All right, let's get tacos! Yeah, 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 yeah! Go and get some tacos.
Chicken. Got chicken. Hot chicken.
Okay, here we have the Cubano. I'm about to eat this shit. It's gonna be dank. What do you think?
I think you're testing fate here. I hope God walks with you.
No, he'll be there with me.
Look at this, look what's in this.
Start with the guacamole. And then we got an egg layer. We got the regular sausage. We've got the fried chorizo, the American cheese, the ham. Something else, maybe another egg or something? I don't even know. Another egg? Whew. A little more sausage, some cheese, and this fresh bread. Are you kidding me? Man, I feel like Action Bronson right now. This is wow. Eating taco truck, playing jazz. Let's go.
Quesadilla.
Get my rap out.
As booby trap.
Yeah, baby. Oh,
I got money. I got the Cubano sandwich. What's that?
Best darn quesadilla I ever had in my dang life.
You got some good deals and beans. You got the green rice.
2017.
Hues Trio. It's good.
Yeah. Hot chicken. What the fuck?
What's that? Yo, that kid is a straight gangster.
Yeah, I went to high school with that dude.
Dude, when's the look coming back, dude? That's sick.
Do you think I could rock a visor like that?
Oh, dude, absolutely, man. It's coming back. Mike, where are we at right now, bro?
Oh, dude, we're in the CD shop, man. I forget the name of it.
Discmania.
Discmania. You got a lot of CDs here. Pretty rad.
From Washington, Crossfire. On the left, Mike Kinsley. On the right, Pat Buchanan. Tonight, Radio Radical. In the Crossfire, Bob Lassiter of Chicago's WLS Radio and Rush Limbaugh of New York's WABC.
I'll bring it up, I guess, since it was my playing experience.
Okay.
Alright, so this is a powerful moment from the Hues Jam experience, which has been going on for a couple of years now. We were hosting a jam. This was at the Night Owl.
All right.
Yeah, rest in peace, the Night Owl. Very awesome venue in South Nashville that went under. But anyway, we were having a jam there, and the song that was going to be played was All Blues, and you know, the classic. You know, the classic bass line. I start laying that down, and essentially the drummer, who is someone who I used to play jazz with on a regular basis at a different venue called Family Wash. He's a really killer drummer, but we were like, you know, tight together from playing a lot. He went absolutely bananas on the tune. Cocker Spaniel. Cute. Anyway, he went absolutely bananas on the tune, and he was metrically modulating like every single metric.
Which, mind you, normally the tune is sort of in this like 3/4 sort of waltzy, but he was doing it as more of just like a slow 6/8 R&B feel. So that was like the sort of like fundamental groove.
Yeah, that was the fundamental groove that he was playing, but it went everywhere. It was in 4, it was in space-time. It went all over the place. So it was a really interesting experience. Very challenging for me to play with, you know, because I was the only rhythmic structure at that point as well, or like the only steady rhythmic structure and foundation for the song. But I really thought it was cool. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was doing something with a song that gets played all the time that doesn't get done. So I liked it a lot, and I think something that speaks volumes about when someone makes a powerful artistic statement is we're still talking about it. It's still getting talked about now. It was such a crazy thing when it happened that we were all like, oh my God, he's just going, you know, he's going off on it.
It was very memorable for sure.
So, like it or not, I like it. I thought it was very challenging and fun to play with. I thought it pushed me, which most of the times when I'm playing a song like All Blues, I kind of go out of it, right? You know, so like to be playing All Blues and having to think as hard as I can to make it happen, that's pretty cool, you know? So I liked it, but yeah, very, very memorable, like it or not, for sure.
Cool. They've been waiting for this. They've been waiting for this because I'm the objector. Because apparently I'm old school and I don't listen to anything post-bop, and I'm totally lame and unhip and square.
Stop.
Okay, so here's my thing. I love metric modulation. I love fucking around with time. I love all that stuff. I think it's great. But I also believe that everything that you're doing in music needs to be well-intentioned. It needs to be intentional. And there's a difference between doing something really weird and out that complements the music and doing something weird and out just for the sake of being weird. You know, I love all kinds of crazy shit, from like super out jazz to like crazy grindcore shit, whatever. All kinds of different shit. So I'm not afraid to get weird, but my weirdness needs to be well-intentioned. You know, if you're like playing a groove and a soloist is trying to play a solo and all of a sudden the time just drops out from under you and you're not being a supportive player anymore, I think that's rude to do with a soloist. If you just like change the time randomly in the middle of something when a soloist is trying to play a solo that they're trying to develop, or somebody's trying to play the head to a song, and you do that, I think that's really disrespectful, because as musicians, we need to work together as a family. We're a team. We're all here to create something. You know, at different times the light shines on different people, but everybody's working together, you know? So like, let's get weird. When Mike magically modulates on his solos and I like catch that, that's awesome. But you can't just start playing another time signature randomly and then not give the band that cue. You always have to have some sort of metric idea, or as a drummer, some sort of limb going to keep everybody in time even when you get weird.
Or having a starting point and landing point.
Exactly. So it's like, if you're going to metrically modulate and you don't tell the band exactly what you're going to do because you're in the middle of the song, you need to make it sort of obvious. Now if you're like playing, I'm going to metrically modulate triplets, boom, I'm gonna come right back in on the one. I'm gonna make it extremely obvious because when you love your band and you love your bandmates, you don't leave them in the fucking dust. You don't pull up. I don't pull up to Mike's apartment and say, "Bro, let's go get some tacos." And then as soon as his hand is on the handle of the car door, I'm like, "Fuck you, man!" And I just peel out. You don't do that to people because it's fucking rude, and you don't disrespect your family like that. You know?
So funny.
So it's not so much that I have any sort of hate for metric modulation or getting weird, but I also value and cherish music so much. The last thing I want to do is disrespect people and such. That's my thing.
I'll put it this way. Me being a fan of out and weird music too, the stuff that's considered less than listenable. No, I mean I'm dead serious. That like I would like personally I enjoyed what he did that night. Mainly because like as far as I was concerned in terms of the functionality, I think him and Mike had that sort of communication that that Mike was the rhythmic foundation, and that the drummer had the freedom to play around with time as he wanted to around that sort of baseline framework. That's why I thought it was really enjoyable. But yes, there is some sort of line between creativity and functionality. Whereas, like, you know, if you're like, it all depends on the group. You know, if you're playing with people that you know may not necessarily have that sort of background in terms of being familiar with metric modulation, or you know necessarily listening to music that isn't all that rhythmically involved, that may not necessarily be the right time or place to use those sort of ideas. But granted, you know, he made the judgment that someone like Mike is very familiar with metric modulation. So it wasn't necessarily. I don't necessarily think that it was a bad judgment call. I think that, you know, there are multiple schools of thought as far as like, you know, if you're treating the original composition as it was, you know, you probably wouldn't play it in a R&B sort of 6/8 anyway. You know, you play it as more of a waltz. So there's that sort of line too. You know, who decided at some point that you would start incorporating these other influences to a song that was sort of specific to a time period? You know, so you can go into any sort of rabbit hole as far as like the intentionality of the composition, the intentionality of the players that you're playing with, maybe the audience that you're playing for. But I think the reason why I enjoyed it was because I'm a fan of what's referred to as gestural improv, where it's like, you know, it's less about maybe traditional musical ideas that we have as far as like form, chords, melodies, that sort of thing. But it's mainly just like some sort of almost seemingly random sort of textural reaction to whatever's happening. You know, like in fact, we sort of do that at the beginning of one of our tunes. We're like, you know, there are these little gestural moments where, like, you know, I might do something like really high in staccato, and that's when Russ might hit something like, you know, catch little cymbals and like do little things like that. They're all really short ideas. There may be something that we do that's like really long and low pitch, you know, where there's like, you know, a lot of low rumble and I'm hitting a lot of low strings, you know, so it has less to do with chords, structure, and everything like that in the way that we normally think of it, but may have more to do with reacting to things just in terms of texture. So I thought texturally what he had to do that night was honestly really incredible. So I don't know, me as a listener, I enjoyed it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone else as a listener has to enjoy it. I think everyone can like or dislike music for their own reasons.
Yeah, I think a good point that both of you kind of made separately is like, the only reason, and something that I agree with, is the only reason that it was okay in my mind is because he knew me, and he knew the song wasn't going to fall apart.
Right.
You know, if he did that and it was somebody else and then the song just ended, like, that would have been a shitty situation, you know? So, like, definitely don't do that. You know, you always say know your audience, you know, but also know your bandmates. So, like, if you're playing with someone who wouldn't dig that or wouldn't know what to do in that situation, don't do it. But yeah, I think it's funny that we're still talking about this, you know.
Oh, we're doing all blues in the next one, too. Oh, I'm gonna do
Now
my-
you're gonna
I'm doing my
hurt
signature.
me on
No,
purpose.
no, I'm not gonna. No, nothing I do will come close to what that guy did. No, I will cradle you in my arms and never let you go. No, I will never lead you astray. Never lead you astray. What I will do, I will support you. I mean, it's probably gonna hurt a little bit, but it's gonna also be wonderful and supportive and amazing. No, I just like I wanna.
That's what he said to me the first night we made love.
I wanna try that.
And that's a wrap, folks. Hues
Yeah.
Trio.
Hues Trio. Oh yeah, check us out on Instagram, face page, MySpace, Tumblr.
And donate to the GoFundMe album campaign. We're looking to record our album in December, and we need your help financially to make it happen.
Yes, please.
Help! Help me! Help!